Oh shit, yo, my chat is empty, Jason.
Well, it is a Saturday. Every once in a while, I imagine people actually go and do things. I mean, we know Randy doesn't, but I imagine other people have lives.
Randy's literally the only dude in the chat. Oh no, my
Yeah.
my chat's at 0. We're literally talking to ourselves. We're a bunch of fucking losers, Jason. Look at
Well, I
that.
already knew that.
It's
Is
all
that
empty.
news? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wait for some people to get to get this party rolling. Wow, really? We got
Because
two.
Randy doesn't count
Oh,
as people.
Randy's here. Randy's literally the only person here. Look at how
Yeah.
awkward this is. Could you imagine if you ran a church, right? Right. You spend all
Hmm.
this time to get this church set up. You have everything set up, and then it's Sunday, and then you open the doors, and there's literally one dude in the pew.
I have actually been in a very sim. I have been in that situation
You've been
before.
in that situation, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, it's almost basically every time I have. It's almost every time I speak at a conference. It's like, um, I'll be there, and or like actually this very last time Lyle spoke before me. Room is packed. I show up and like everyone's gone. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I feel your pain. Oh look, there's other people here.
Oh shit, there's people.
There
Damn, they're
are
showing
people.
up. They all showed up out of nowhere. We were just talking about how
Yeah,
the chat room's all empty and how no one loves the show because it sucks.
and it does.
Because of all the paranormal cryptid people, I'm the degenerate.
I mean, let's be honest. You really aren't the most degenerate of the
No,
cryptid
but I'm
people.
the one who's most outwardly a degenerate.
Yeah, you're the one who's not pretending to. You're the one who's not pretending to not be.
Yes.
Hmm.
So tonight, folks, Jason and I have come together to share in our undying hatred of that piece of
Hmm.
shit known as Bigfoot.
You're letting me be a Bigfoot slayer.
Yeah, you're in. You've been
Excellent.
recruited. And
Wonderful.
before we start, Jason, why don't you
Hmm.
share with the group how much you hate Bigfoot and how much you want to see him die?
Well, I mean, we did a whole episode on it. I very much think that the Sasquatch uh, society poses probably one of the greatest threats to humanity that exists, particularly to our empanadas, more
Hmm.
than anything else.
He fucks with our empanadas.
He does.
He would eat that shit up.
Yeah,
Don't
we
even
can't
bring
have
that
that.
shit to a fucking picnic. No,
Mm-mm.
we're just
No,
gonna go Yogi Bear on that shit.
exactly. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. He's going to eat
And
our empanadas.
oh, Randy's also a member of the Bigfoot Slayer Society of America. He's our
Hmm.
weapons designer because he's got a military background
Yep.
and he knows like science and shit and chemistry and stuff.
Yeah. Which, and I suggested him for that. I would like to
Yeah,
remind you. So I'm glad that you actually let me on. But yes, no, he'll mess with our empanadas. He needs to go away. That's what I'm saying. The
yeah,
entire
Bigfoot.
yeah. And again, when I was doing my 3 letter days, we talked about it. It was one of those things that it was very clear that they really didn't have the guts to go for it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have a president who's actually going to do something other than fall asleep at the desk,
Yeah,
fuck out of here, Sleepy
or actually
Joe.
know that he's at a desk.
Yeah, who actually knows what the fuck he's signing half the time. Yo, did you hear that interview that with Mike Johnson, dude?
Yeah.
That speaker, where he was
Mm-hmm.
talking, he finally gets a meeting with Biden. He was like, "Hey, man, why did you shut down all the what was it the
Mm-hmm.
natural gas production in Louisiana?" And Biden's like,
Yeah.
"Huh, I didn't do that." He's like,
Yeah.
"Motherfucker, you fucking straight up signed this thing."
Yeah.
And then
I
Biden's
think
like, "I
specifically
did."
it was about trading with Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but
It's
now,
now we can have those stories told because yeah, he's out. So
now we've got a president who's got the cojones to actually do some shit and to
yeah.
actually fix the scourge on this land known as the Bigfoot.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think he'd have the cojones to do it. But what makes you think he would? I mean, he kind of has
Well,
other fish to fry here. I again, like I said, back in the 3 letter days, we wanted somebody who would have the cojones to do it. We have, but I don't know that he would actually care. It's like, hey, when you get rid of the Bigfoot, I don't know that he would care about that. What makes you think he would?
well, Bigfoot's in our lands acting like
Hmm.
he owns the place. He's in our forest acting like he's the fucking king of the forest. No, the
Hmm.
forest
Eating
does
our
not belong to
empanadas.
Bigfoot. It belongs to Uncle Sam. It belongs to America.
Okay.
Okay. George Washington did not sacrifice himself so that we could give our fucking forests away to some hairy beast. Right? That's so un-American. We just let him just run amok.
So this is your pitch to him? Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's so un-American just to let him just walk around our woods shitting on our flags. So thankfully, we have a president who's got the gumption to do something about it. And I, for one, as the general of the Bigfoot Slayer Society, welcome our new president so that we may finally accomplish our mission of eradicating the Bigfoot scourge, because he's a piece of shit and he needs to die.
So again, we're great. We're on the Bigfoot Slayer team here. You've let me on finally.
Yeah.
But and again, I understand our reasons for it. You know, empanadas, the lack of potty training in the national force. But I mean, is that really something that he's going to care about? Like, I feel like you're missing something in this pitch that you have going here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll give you a pitch. I think Bigfoot secretly wants to destroy our fine country, our fine nation. Bigfoot is out to undermine these American values, our Constitution, because I believe, Jason McLean, that what Bigfoot actually is, he's a commie. He's a liberal commie, piece of shit scum.
Yes, well, his treatment of empanadas would definitely imply that. But I'm interested. What's your evidence? I mean, beyond the empanadas?
Okay, we all know this classical photo, right?
Of course.
The clip from the Patterson Gimlin film, right?
Yes.
And what do all of our Bigfoot expert friends say about this particular creature, right? They say that this Bigfoot is a female.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How do they know that's a female?
Yeah.
What are they seeing here? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing, Jason McLean?
I don't know. What aren't you saying? I mean, there's clearly pendulous breasts.
I mean, I thought this was a dude, and they're saying it's a female.
Yeah, I mean, Patty's very clearly female. I don't understand. Why are you confused on that?
It's looking androgynous to me, man. I think Bigfoot might be trans, is what I'm saying. Could Bigfoot be trans, Jason McLean?
I'll be honest, I hadn't really thought of it, but now that you mention, I suppose that could be a thing. But why would that be a problem? I mean, do you have a problem with trans Bigfoot?
No, man. I mean, I don't have a problem with trans people. I believe everyone deserves their fair shake at, life, liberty, and happiness.
Yeah.
Right? I believe trans people are entitled to the same rights we all are as Americans. But all this woke, leftist, progressive, social communist ideology, what do they want to do? They want to lift trans people up by pushing everyone else down. That's the whole point of woke DEI bullshit. They push everyone down to lift everyone, to lift this one small group up, all in the name of diversity and equality.
Which is really, as we've discussed,
Marxism bullshit.
Yeah, it's just Okay, so this is your evidence. So this would be more your evidence that that Bigfoot's actually a commie.
Listen, I'm all for trans people having rights, right? But think about it, Jason McLean. You're a father, right? I'm not a father. I don't have any kids, thank God.
That you know of.
That I know of. But as a father, would you want Bigfoot playing in your women's sports?
Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what
you want to see him. You want to see him dunking all up on your daughter's face like that?
It would be the first time that someone actually dunked in the WNBA, so that might be fun to see. But I see your point. If Bigfoot is not just screwing with our empanadas, but if he is part of the woke agenda, then we could see him we could see him using that would definitely be a reason for him to at least be on the target list. But it feels like, I don't know, it feels like maybe the president has other things to do than go after Bigfoot.
Well, the president just announced that there are two genders.
Yeah.
He did just announce that,
Yeah.
I don't think Bigfoot agrees. I think he's trying to get up on that women's Olympic boxing shit. Beat the shit out of some poor defenseless girls. And Jason McLean, that is wrong. We at the Bigfoot Slayer Society of America, we need to put a stop to it.
I like where you're going with this. I think you're improving the pitch, and I wonder if perhaps he's been building this argument. Hey, don't presidents already have a history with Bigfoot?
Oh, you're talking about Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. Wasn't there a thing about Teddy Roosevelt and Bigfoot?
Yeah, he had that one travel journal like back in the day, right? Because he used to be an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me try to find.
Yeah, because I think you did a whole episode on this, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, guys, if you want to check out the episode, Teddy motherfucking Roosevelt, we did talk about how Teddy Roosevelt may have actually indeed started a national parks program to isolate the Bigfoot.
Yeah, give them a place to sort of stay. Yeah.
Right.
So that was sort of like step one for the president's interaction with Bigfoot. It seems like all the rest of the presidents after that kind of just were like, okay, we'll just have national parks, and they left them alone.
Amy's on point. She says Teddy clearly made a deal with Bigfoot to create national parks.
Yep. Hold on. This because it feels like to me in this conversation, like now I'm thinking about, maybe a lot of the conversation things that Trump's been doing is building up to making this announcement. It didn't click in my head until you just said that. Like no one's done anything about Bigfoot since Teddy Roosevelt. It feels like it's sort of, like why would he go over and actually take that next step? I mean, the woke stuff, and that's definitely a threat, right?
Okay, now here's another thing, right? Okay, real quick, just hold on to that thought. What happened in the news recently, right? LA burned down. Why did LA burn down? Because those freaking environmentalists, right?
Yeah, right.
What did they do? They told the state of California not to clear the brush, right?
Yeah.
They told them not to maintain the forests. They told them to let all that reservoir water run into the ocean to save some fucking endangered fish that nobody gives a shit about.
It's actually
not by the way, it's an invasive fish, by the way.
Yep.
Right? It's those tree fuckers, right? And who are the head tree fuckers? It's going to be Al Gore and Bigfoot. They're undermining our society. Those environmentalists, they let LA burn to the ground, Jason McLean.
Yep. You know what? That's a good point. Maybe so you're saying that maybe he's already in league with Al Gore.
Yeah, because he's a fucking communist and he's anti-American.
Which would make sense. Al Gore is both. He's definitely both. Do you have any evidence for this, though, that maybe... Because, I mean, it does feel like you kind of came out of left field. I agree with where you're going with it. It feels like you kind of came out of left field. Do you have any kind of evidence for that?
What, of Bigfoot being an environmentalist? I mean... him
and Al Gore specifically uniting over this.
Oh, well, I know one thing. They both fuck trees.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it does feel like evidence. It feels like some really solid evidence.
There's a connection there, Jason.
There is a connection there. Yep. Yeah.
Let's see what the people are saying. Do the people agree? Gore is my second wife's second cousin. No bullshit. Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's also
so he knows. So Keith knows.
Oh, by the way, little quick aside. I learned some interesting trivia recently, Jason.
Really?
Are you familiar with Danzig?
Yeah.
You know that song, their famous song, Mother?
Oh, yeah.
So I was watching a YouTube video where they were interviewing Glenn Danzig about who the identity of said mother was when he wrote the song. Tipper Gore.
He said that makes sense.
Because Tipper Gore had launched that campaign against rock music.
Yeah, no, it's like as soon as you said it, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. By the way, he wanted to be Wolverine.
He should have been Wolverine.
Yeah, he's a huge Marvel Comics fan, but he wanted to be Wolverine. So there you go. That's literally all I know about Danzig outside of the music and stuff. But yeah,
she tried to silence all those rock stars, man. Fuck her.
I wonder if maybe Bigfoot doesn't like rock music, and that's why.
Well, he's anti-American.
He is anti-American.
Yeah, he fucks trees.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tree fucker.
He is.
So Jason, tell us, like, what do you think? What's your interpretation? Now that Trump's in office, I mean, do you see us being one step closer to eradicating that furry piece of shit?
I would have said no at the beginning of this episode. I thought you were really reaching with this one. I'm going to be honest. I thought you were reaching because I think he just has other things to care about. But something happened today. Okay. And you saying this conversation has made me think about a text I got. So today, I think it was today, he announced that he was thinking about sending all those new IRS agents they just hired.
Yeah.
Reallocating them to the border. Since so many of them were armed, right? I was like, that's hilarious. But I got a text a couple of days ago from my old 3-letter days, right? And it's from the second most. Obviously, you are the most powerful psychic in the world, right?
I am the most powerful.
Established, yeah.
Well, not in the world, just in the paranormal community.
But in the paranormal community, I apologize. So outside of the paranormal community, this person's actually technically the second most powerful psychic, right? Because we were, things I can't talk about. And let me pull it up here. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me at first, right? But this person said that they had gotten a vision of Teddy Roosevelt with Donald Trump's hair eating a Big Mac. And I thought, that's weird. I mean, it's just such a weird text that I got from this psychic. Again, I can't say even male or female. I don't want to blow their cover. It's like, that's such a weird Teddy Roosevelt with Donald Trump's hair eating a Big Mac. It just didn't make any sense until we started talking, and you reminded me that there's this connection between Teddy Roosevelt and Bigfoot.
Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt's homie got iced by a Bigfoot. Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt was a fan of industrialization. He was an avid hunter. But we all know the technology at the time was not capable of taking on the Bigfoot menace. That's why we had to get Randy, right?
Yeah.
So my thought is, what if what this psychic was seeing is actually evidence that Donald Trump is a reincarnation of Theodore Roosevelt, and he came back at a time when he could help build up the economy, and we had enough of a technological advancement that he could then take on the Sasquatch threat. And maybe those 80,000 new IRS agents aren't actually going to the border. They're going to wipe out the Sasquatch threat.
Do you think Donald Trump incarnated on this earth as the soul of Teddy Roosevelt to finish the job, to finally get the revenge for Bigfoot killing his friend?
I think I think that may be the most probable answer here, because he's not pulling any punches now. Like the first go around, he was trying to play nice. He was trying to make some changes, but maybe it's because he knew the time wasn't right. Like we weren't technologically there yet. Yeah. We didn't have the industrial base to really, really take on the threat. But now we do. And there's been, in the last 4 years, have been, with the woke stuff blowing up and causing so much damage. Now, that's why all these companies are dumping the DEI stuff. And we're seeing the damage of the wokeness that Sasquatch has been helping, aiding, and abetting through Al Gore.
Yeah.
That may be what this is. Donnie, I think you've cracked the case here.
Yeah, I mean, they're fellow tree fuckers,
Yeah.
Paris and Gimlin film shows us that Bigfoot is indeed part of the trans ideological movement.
Yep.
Trying to dunk in all these girls' faces.
Yep.
I think we might be onto something. I think, Jason, that Donald Trump might indeed actually be the reincarnation of Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
With one mission and one mission only. Maybe this whole MAGA thing. Maybe the whole 2016 election, the the first term, maybe all that January 6th bullshit, maybe all that Ukraine shit, maybe all of that, the pandemic, maybe all of it was leading to Donald Trump's true calling, true mission to do for America what needed to be done.
Yeah. The thing that Teddy Roosevelt couldn't do because he didn't have the technology, because we weren't
there have the
yet.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the military. Now we got like Navy SEALs and shit and Delta Force.
Yes.
Now we got like drones.
Yeah. And just 80,000 people with guns hanging out doing nothing.
There was no leadership for the longest time. Do you think Biden was leading that effort to eradicate Bigfoot?
No. He was probably in cahoots with Bigfoot, let's be honest. Did you see the speech? I mean, it was very early on that Jill gave about breakfast tacos.
What happened?
This was.
Dude, I love breakfast tacos. What'd she say?
Oh, she was talking about how and she was down in San Antonio and she said, "Si se puede." I think she was trying to say, I can't even say
Tex.
it now. Yeah.
It's Texas Front Porch. Hey, everybody. Fancy seeing you here.
She just started talking. She compared Hispanic people to breakfast tacos.
What?
I'm not kidding. Like this, everyone was like, "What is happening?" And she said, "Si se puede," and everyone in Texas and anyone who knows anything to do with Spanish goes, "That's not a thing. Like it's not a word." She's just making stuff up, almost as bad as Biden did. But so you know what? That shows her blatant disrespect for empanadas, which also links them to Sasquatch. Biden was involved with Sasquatch, not just
She supports Bigfoot dunking on girls in the WNBA.
Yes.
I don't support that. Do you?
No.
As a father, you are a concerned father. You don't want that kind of madness happening.
I don't want Bigfoot dunking on my daughter.
No. And it's funny that Tex should be here because there are people out there in the cryptid community, Jason, who say no. We should let them live. We should respect their space.
No.
We should let them have their safe space. Safe space? I don't know, Jason. I think that's some woke trans talk right there.
It is.
They're pushing that ideology on us, trying to let communism creep in here. And that's why we need someone like Trump to save the day.
Because you've proven it. You have proven it.
Yes.
Bigfoot is a fifth columnist for the commies. And we've been at a sort of Cold War with them for years, almost a century.
Right.
But now Trump's back and he can actually end this Cold War once and for all, and we can actually make America great again. Our empanadas
reincarnation
will be of Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Our empanadas will be safe. We won't have them just crapping on our beautiful national force. The woke agenda will end. I don't see it. And imagine if we take out all the Sasquatch, all of his collaborators fall too.
Right.
Sasquatch could be the link to the entire neo-Marxist agenda in this country. Sir, you put the pieces together. I couldn't see the big picture, but you, Donny, you saw the big picture, which is why you're Pope of the Church of Dogman.
And that's why I'm the general.
The general of the Bigfoot Slayer organization, sir.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say it. I think you, sir, in all humility, are the Chuck Norris of the paranormal community.
I think I might be the greatest American in this field.
I think you
are.
Which
is ironic.
It is.
And I'm actually before we go any further, you saw the inauguration. You saw the celebration.
Yes.
You saw Trump being imbued with the mystic powers of the Native American elders, being blessed by the spirits of the Native American peoples.
You're right.
To do the thing that needs to be done.
To do the thing. Yes.
He was blessed with the Native American ancient powers to
the magic
eradicate the
of
Bigfoot.
yes. Donny, this is why we need you. This is why we need you. You see the things other people don't see.
Right. And
Yep.
through that, we are going to cleanse
Mm-hmm.
America.
Yep.
We are going to cleanse the cryptid community so that there's no Bigfoot. It'll only be Dogman and maybe some Fae.
Yeah.
Or mermaids or whatever. Maybe some leprechauns and shit, but no fucking Bigfoot, no more.
Yeah. The real scourge.
The real scourge is going to be removed.
In fact, I would suggest perhaps that Sasquatch is actually preventing us from discovering all the other cryptids.
Right.
It is keeping the cryptid community down, and not just us, but the actual cryptids themselves. Donny, you've blown this whole thing wide open. And you know what? The dancing he's doing at all the inaugurations, you know what he's doing. And again, probably a lot of people in the chat are going to get this, but I know you will. He's making a spirit bomb because he's been blessed by the Indian elders now to take on Bigfoot. He's been collecting the spirit energy so that he can take out Bigfoot. He can imbue those 80,000 IRS agents who are going to go into the field to take out Bigfoot with the energy, and actually they can spirit bomb them out of existence and cleanse the lower 48 because we don't care about Canada.
And you have you're going to be our government liaison for the Society of Bigfoot Slayers. You will be the one, going back and forth with those IRS agents, those Bigfoot assassin IRS agents. You will be our liaison.
Well, sir, I feel honored by the faith that you, the general of the Bigfoot Slayer community, is putting on me your faith. I will not let you down, sir.
Do you know what Scott said? He says, I see Donny Moore as a bodyguard to Nancy P. How dare you, sir?
Block him immediately.
How dare you?
Block him immediately. How dare you?
Anyway. So, I think we're going to Chuck Norris it, Jason.
I think we should. Sir, I think you are the Chuck Norris of this. Yeah. I think you need to. This is my official declaration that you, Donald Cho, are the Chuck Norris of the community. The indispensable general. The best general.
And we will do for America what needs to be done. For Teddy Roosevelt. For George Washington. Teddy. For his sacrifice on the cross at Plymouth Rock.
For the Gipper.
Yes.
And really, perhaps what we have discovered is that so much of this of the last 100 years has been developing weaponry to fight not just communism, because as we know, Bigfoot is a commie, but actually to fight Bigfoot. They've known that this day was coming. And Reagan was like, Reagan took out the CCP so that Bigfoot wouldn't have as much power. And now we're at the point where we're now technologically advanced enough to take on the Bigfoot army. I think you've cracked this case wide open, sir. You are the man.
I think we did it, Jason. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Folks, we're going to keep this one short and simple. I want you guys to sit on it. Don't worry. We'll be coming back to this topic because the eradication of Bigfoot needs to happen. Also, don't trust Al Gore. That motherfucker fucks trees.
Yes, 100%.